What up, everybody? Welcome back to the greatest afternoon show in the world. That is AC Reviews the World. I'm your host, AC the Engineer, and we are episode 192. Yep. Welcome back. It is Wednesday, May 20th, 2026, year of our Lord, and it's time to get into it, y'all. Welcome back, where we go over 4 topics Monday through Friday of just things that I found that we need to review together. Now, if you ever disagree with anything I say, please leave a comment. Let's have a discussion about it. That's what's wrong with the world today. People aren't talking about this type of stuff anymore. But the best way to show your support is always just to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos. Now, it's another day, and you know we meet Monday through Friday, but it's time to get into it. Let's jump over right into it. Let's see what we're talking about today. The first topic we got to talk about today is something that I wasn't too shocked by, but we got President Donald Trump. President Donald Trump has, it's hard to even think about, but we all remember January 6th. So now it looks like President Donald Trump has set aside some funds, or going to make the taxpayers pay some funds for the rioters, because that's what they deserve. That's what he says. But then we got 2 officers who are suing, who were actually there, who are suing the Justice Department. But let's get over into it. The first thing we're going to look at now is we're going to look at just a reminder of the violence that took place that day. Let's jump into it.
Here. We're going to give riot warning. We're going to try to get compliance, but this is now effectively a riot.
49 hours declaring it a riot.
5 to 50 be advised, Chao Police 1 advised they're trying to breach and get to the Capitol.
We have a breach of the Capitol! Breach of the Capitol! We need to hold the doors of the Capitol. I need court support. We lost the line. We lost the line. All MPDs get back! All MPDs get back up to the upper deck! All MPDs get back to the upper deck!
All right, we got the gist of it. Let's go over into these 2 officers who are suing the Justice Department. Let's get into it.
We're following growing backlash over the president's deal with his own Justice Department to set up a nearly $1.8 billion fund compensating people that they say were wrongly targeted by the Biden administration.
Today, 2 officers who defended the Capitol on January 6th sued to block the fund. That's because the Trump administration has not ruled out payouts for January 6th defendants.
It comes after the president, his sons, and their company dropped a lawsuit and other claims against the federal government in exchange for the creation of this fund. But the agreement went even further yesterday. A sweeping 1-page addendum said the government will be, quote, forever barred and precluded from pursuing certain legal claims against the president and his family, including anything related to previous tax returns.
Joining us now, NBC News senior...
I don't know. That sounds like, at least to me, it sounds like any future claims. They mentioned past, but are they saying that they can't sue him for anything in the future? That's a crazy stipulation. Let's keep going.
Justice reporter Ryan Riley. Ryan, there's a lot to dig into here. So let's start with this addendum from yesterday and what it means for Trump and his family.
Yeah, it can have a really significant potential value. You know, some outside estimates have said that this could potentially save Donald Trump $100 million if there was something that was found in the process of reviewing these tax records. But what this was all about originally was this lawsuit over the leaking of his tax return records, which showed he did not pay all that much in taxes overall, because that was leaked by an IRS contractor that resulted in this litigation. But it was just an odd situation to begin with, because you typically don't have this situation where the sitting president of the United States is suing a government which he can control in many ways, as we've seen over the past year and a half, and his own officials would be subjected to defending that. They never entered an appearance in the case, which made it possible for them to drop the case, and now this sort of fund all grew out of that.
And Ryan, what more do we know about this lawsuit filed by two law enforcement officers who defended the Capitol on January 6th?
Yeah, that includes Harry Dunn, and it's a lawsuit essentially that alleges that they are going to be targeted even more because if the Justice Department is to pay out this money to January 6 rioters. They've gotten a lot of death threats over the years and have been targeted by some of the Capitol rioters themselves. And they say essentially that if money goes to those rioters, that's going to continue, and it's going to sort of incentivize them and encourage people who damaged the Capitol, who attacked the Capitol that day, to continue doing what they're doing. So
it's crazy to think that the people who were just trying to do their jobs, defend the Capitol, is what they're paid to do, is what they were hired to do, what they were trained to do. It's crazy to think that they were getting death threats. And then, of course, if the rioters ended up getting paid from the taxpayers, that $1.8 billion spread across them all, of course it's going to be incentivize them to just keep doing it, because it proves that they are right. They were right the whole time, which is a wild thing to think about. Let's keep going.
That's their issue for standing. I think standing is going to be a little bit of a tricky thing here. But what's interesting is it will appear before, or at least this lawsuit is going to appear before a lot of the very same judges who heard a lot of the evidence in the January 6 cases here in D.C.
And Ryan, I want to hit some of your exclusive reporting that seems to have foreshadowed a conversation that happened months before the creation of this fund. A DOJ official apparently told a GOP ally that big payouts were coming to January 6 defendants. What should we know there?
Yeah, so this was Ed Martin, and the way he sort of really got close to Donald Trump was that he was hosting these fundraisers when Donald Trump was out of office for these January 6 defendants. He was associated with this outside group that was raising money for the families of January 6 defendants. He himself was a Stop the Steal organizer. He actually gave a speech outside of the Capitol on January 5th, calling for patriotic Americans to fight till their dying breath to stop the steal. And now he's in this important position within the Justice Department and has been pushing for this settlement. So sort of previewed that to a GOP ally at a hotel here in Washington. And that seems to have been what has come about. But of course, there are all of these outside efforts to try to stop this from coming. And we've seen some opposition from even Republicans on the Hill about this fund, which many opponents are describing as a slush fund for Donald Trump's allies.
Ryan Riley for us. Ryan, thank you.
It's a wild situation to think about. Let's get over into the AI breakdown just to bring this all together. But what are your thoughts on this situation, y'all? Do you think that they deserve to get paid out? Do you think that January 6th was an actual riot? I'm thinking back to, because I remember watching it on the news on January 6th when this was all taking place. And I just immediately thought, these people are crazy. They're really going to storm the Capitol? And then it's crazy to think that nothing came about from it. They could just do it and get away with it. But some people believe they weren't rioting. Some people believe it was their right to do it. But let me know your thoughts. Let's get over into this. So as we know, two police officers who defended the U.S. Capitol on January 6th filed a lawsuit on May 20th to block the Justice Department newly established $1.8 billion anti-weaponizing fund. The lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court in Washington, D.C. names President Donald Trump, Acting Attorney General, and the Treasury Secretary as defendants. The complainants described the $1.776 billion taxpayer-backed pool as a corrupt slam. and that the most brazen act of presidential corruption in this century. The officers argued that the fund's true purpose is to financially reward and compensate the nearly 1,600 individuals who charged in connection with the January 6th attack. So the two officers who frequently receive death threats and face regular harassment claim the fund validates political violence, embodies extremist militias, and significantly heightens the ongoing threat to their physical safety. I mean, it makes sense to me. Why? If they are getting death threats now, and then they get paid from the government, the rioters get paid from the government, basically saying that, oh, okay, they made a mistake. So what are they going to do now? You think they're going to stop treating them or sending death threats to them? No, they're just going to be more brazen. So the legal and constitutional argument. So the 14th Amendment, the suit claims that the fund violates Section 4 of the 14th Amendment, which prohibits paying debts incurred to aid insurrection. So then we have the plaintiffs argue that the administration violated the Separation of Powers and Administration Procedures Act by creating the fund without congressional approval. The lawsuit alleges that the fund detailed by CNBC violates Section 4 of what we just said. Absolutely crazy. 1,600 individuals all raided the Capitol. We thought that something would come of it, or some people did. When they were pardoned by President Donald Trump, we thought that was the end of it. But now it seems like they could get a payout for storming the Capitol. The world's a crazy place, but let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know if I'm not understanding something, if you disagree with what I said, but it just doesn't sit right with me. But like I said, let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. We're going to pivot now into our next topic we're going to discuss today. And we got to go over to Massachusetts, where we had a McDonald's worker who has gone viral for doing some crazy things to some fries and giving them to customers. The craziest thing is, it was a manager. But let's get over into it and see what this whole situation is about. Of course, we'll go over to the AI breakdown. But remember, y'all, the best way to show your support is always just to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. Let's get over into it.
Now at 6:05 this morning, from a viral video to criminal charges for the now former Southbridge McDonald's employee who put French fries in her mouth before boxing them up. You may remember the video we showed you earlier this month. You can see the employee recording herself while her coworkers seem to be laughing after she puts the fries clearly in her mouth and then into the carton. Boston 25 News reporter Alyssa Azar joins us live from Dudley District Court this morning. And Alyssa, people are still upset over this.
It makes me regret eating McDonald's every single day sometimes. Well, I don't eat it every day, but y'all know what I'm saying.
Gene, that's right. That video is still going viral on social media and causing residents to think twice about eating fast food, especially in Southbridge. But Southbridge police tell us they do expect to file charges here at Dudley District Court this morning against that now former employee. Take a closer look at that video causing a stir on social media. The employee puts a handful of fries in her mouth before packaging them up to presumably be served to customers. This happened at the McDonald's on East Main Street in Southbridge. The employees involved no longer work at that restaurant. Now, while some believe the former worker should be held accountable, others say if it was a younger employee, they're unsure.
Might be a little more lenient if she was just a younger kid starting out and saying, being a little foolish. I think it was kind of foolish for him to put it out where other people can see it. Pray that it all works out for this girl and she realizes that it's not the way to go.
Foolish? I don't know, man, because if somebody put their mouth on my fries and gave them to me, you deserve everything that's coming to you. Come on now. We can't chalk it up to young. You know what's right and wrong. You know what? Some people are crazy. Let's keep going.
What happens next will be up to a judge. It's still unclear exactly what charges she will face. For now, we're live in Dudley. Alyssa Azar for your local station, Boston 20.
Let's go over into the next video where we get more details about this whole case.
A Massachusetts McDonald's employee is facing criminal charges after a viral video showed her stuffing French fries in her mouth before allegedly serving them to a customer. NBC 10's Brianna Borghi is live in Southbridge. Brianna, when this video hit social media, it rattled so many people. I'm glad you can add some context to it all tonight.
It really did, Glenn, and we did learn today that that employee was actually a manager at this McDonald's. She also allegedly spit in that fry carton before actually putting the fries in it, and now we do have the video that's at the center of this investigation. This is the video that sparked a police investigation at a McDonald's in Southbridge.
You want French fries today, right?
The employee, identified in court documents as Kaylee Marie Santos, is seen stuffing French fries into her mouth and then putting them in a fry carton as a coworker laughs along.
It's very concerning because we all know this is the only McDonald's here.
It appears the video was posted on Santos' private Snapchat story and then recorded using another phone. It's now racked up hundreds of thousands of views online.
A bunch of the people I work with, we went to that McDonald's, and no, nobody goes there because it's really nasty.
According to court documents, Santos was working as the night manager when she allegedly served the contaminated fries to her ex-girlfriend, who also claims Santos had been harassing her and her new partner. Santos is now charged with distributing food containing a harmful substance. Both she and her coworker have since been fired. The franchise operator saying in a statement, the actions of these individuals are unacceptable and do not reflect our organization's food safety standards or values, going on to say the well-being and safety of our Southbridge community remains our top priority.
So you mean to tell me she was trying to harass her ex-girlfriend, and she constantly does this, but she ended up posting it on her private story. And if you're not aware what a private story is or a private Snapchat story is, it's usually only people who you allow to see it can see it. So she ended up doing that, and of course, somebody recorded it and put it out on the web. You made a stupid decision, and you deserve to be punished for that. What are you doing at your job? That's the place you earn money from. Some people are very stupid, and I mean, we just got to call it how it is. Let's keep going.
If you think these can't happen at any place you eat, whether it's a McDonald's or the finest restaurant in the world, don't think it, because things can happen behind closed doors. So, but I think the person, and I think they're going to get a heck of a lesson out of it.
In court paperwork, police did say they've dealt with Santos before. We did try to reach out to both Santos and the alleged victim, but didn't hear back from either of them. Santos is set to face a judge in June. For now, we're live in South.
I would love to be inside of that courtroom, because you already know she's going to have the teary eyes saying she's so sorry. She's never done it to anybody. But how can you truly believe her? How can you truly believe her? They said that she spit inside of the fry carton, put the fries in her mouth, and then put them in there to give to her. Some people are disgusting. Let's get over into this AI breakdown just to find out a little bit more information about this whole topic. So as we know, Kylie Santos, 22-year-old and a former night manager at McDonald's, is facing felony charges of distributing food containing a harmful substance. The charge stems from a viral Snapchat video that surfaced in mid-May 2026, which showed her shoving a handful of French fries into her mouth and then spitting into a fry carton before serving them to a drive-thru customer. Under Massachusetts law, the specific charge carries a maximum penalty of up to 5 years in state prison. 5 years, y'all. So investigators revealed that she was explicitly targeting a customer who was her ex-girlfriend. According to the police report, the two had broken up in late 2024, and the victim stated that Santos had been harassing her and her new partner. 2024? And you mean to tell me this happened in May 2026 and you're still that heartbroken? you got bigger problems on your hands now. So on the night of the incident, the victim ordered only 2 drinks, but was handed a bag containing fries as well. Surveillance and phone footage showed the Santos spitting into the fry container, stuffing multiple fries into her mouth, repackaging them, and then handing them out the drive-thru window while another employee laughed. The victim initially ate the fries without realizing what had happened. She later saw the viral video online and contacted authorities to pursue criminal charges. 100%. You mess with my food? Now, as a big man myself, of course, you can't. That would have rubbed me the wrong way. But let's keep going. So they said that the franchise owner immediately suspended and fired Santos and the second employee involved in the video. It's crazy to think, y'all. You were just there laughing with your manager, and now you're fired. So local health officials inspected the East Main Street restaurant following the uproar and found no broader public health concerns or sanitary violations. Authorities emphasized that no other customers were impacted by the targeted incident. That she ruined the reputation of that restaurant. Cost that place a lot of money. Santos had been formally summoned to court. Her arraignment is scheduled for June 5th, 2026. Wow. Now you got 2 people who lost their jobs. And this is all comes from you getting a breakup from 2024. Some people need to do more with their lives. Some people need to move on. There is no way you should be doing this type of stuff at your job and just in general. What was the point? To laugh about it? To make a funny video? Now you're facing criminal charges. I wonder if she thought it was worth it. We'll see if she learns a lesson or not, but some people deserve whatever's coming to them. But let me know your thoughts on this situation. Let me know how you feel about it. Will it make you wary of McDonald's? Because you never know what employees will do behind your back. That's why I always say this. Be nice to the people who prepare your food. Because there are some crazy people out there. But let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a crazy situation. Let's pivot to the next topic we go over to, and we got to go over to the MLK Day shooting gunman who was just sentenced to 2 life sentences. And the crazy part is, after this happened, for some reason, there was a bunch of chaos outside the court where ended up a fight happened. But let's get over into it and see what this whole situation was about. Remember, y'all, always hit that like button if you want to keep seeing this stuff. Now, let's go over into it and see what we can find out. Let's jump into it, y'all.
The man convicted in the deadly shooting at a Martin Luther King Jr. Day parade in Fort Pierce will now spend the rest of his life in prison.
Yeah, a judge now has sentenced Kimmy Parsons to 2 life sentences for the killing of Nikisha White. That was more than 3 years ago. Officials say that Parsons was involved in a fight that escalated in gunfire at a local park.
Nikisha was caught in the crossfire, shot while shielding her young daughter from the gunfire.
And moments after the sentence was handed down, well, this happened. Emotions boiling over outside the courtroom. That's when a fight had broken out between the members of the victim's family and the defendant's family.
CBS 12 Treasure Coast reporter Jack Wu was inside the courtroom as it all unfolded. Jack?
The emotions inside the courtroom were raw from start to finish. Family members cried during the victim impact statement while Kimmy Parsons sat silent before learning he would spend the rest of his life in prison. But the tension didn't end when court adjourned. It spilled right into the hallway outside. A murder sentencing erupts into chaos outside a St. Lucie County courtroom. Kimmy Parsons received 2 life sentences for his role in the 2023 MLK Day parade shooting that killed 29-year-old Nikisha Bryant and injured others. The sentencing comes after months of court battles and repeated attempts by the defense to get the case dismissed. Inside the courtroom, a victim's advocate read an emotional statement from Bryant's mother directly to Parsons.
For your actions, my daughter lost her life. My grandbaby lost her mom. and I lost my only daughter, my best friend.
Parson chose not to address the court before sentencing. Judge Michael Hasey sentenced him to 2 concurrent life sentences plus an additional 15 years on a firearm charge. Afterward, Bryant's mother said the sentence brought a measure of closure.
I feel good about the sentencing. I feel good that she got justice, and that's what we wanted.
But just moments later, the tension between both families boiled over. A fight broke out feet from the courtroom doors. Family members say Parsons' brother-in-law and Bryant's cousin exchanged words before turning physical. Court deputies rushed in to separate both sides as people yelled across the hallway. While the court case may be over, Bryant's family says the emotional damage left behind is far from healed, especially for her 13-year-old daughter.
She's still doing counseling, probably need a little bit more counseling than I figured. The older she gets, I think the worse it gets for her.
Parson now has 30 days to file an appeal on his sentence. Reporting in St. Lucie County, I'm Jack Wood.
They got the family members of the victims and the suspect or the criminal fighting outside of court. I don't know why you're gonna even say anything to the victim's family if you're the family member of the killer. I would have just left the courtroom. Okay, we know what he got, but I guess some people emotions too high and they can't handle it. Let's go over to this next video and just get more information on it.
Let's go.
Crazy scene. Nobody can act right. Let's get over into the AI breakdown just to find out more information about this whole topic. So as we know, Kami Parsons, Kami, however you say his name, was sentenced to 2 concurrent life terms plus 15 years in prison for his role in the fatal shooting on 2023 Martin Luther King Jr. Day mass shooting. Immediately following the sentencing, a physical brawl erupted in the courtroom hallway between the defendant's family and the victim's family, forcing the sheriff's deputy to intervene. So as we know, the 31-year-old defendant was sentenced by the circuit court judge at the county courthouse. So he received 2 concurrent life sentences of second-degree felony murder and attempted first-degree murder plus 15 additional years for a firearm possession by a felon. The charges stem from a January 16, 2023 mass shooting at an MLK Day community celebration at the Elise Park. An escalating dispute between the rival groups led to a shootout with at least 8 guns fired. The victim, The 29-year-old mother was caught in the crossfire and killed while attending the car show and food truck event with her daughter. 7 others were injured. Parsons did not fire the bullet that killed Bryant, but under Florida law, he was held responsible for felony murder because he initiated the gunfire. Makes sense to me. I don't be a part of that life if you don't want to be grouped together. So as we know, moments after the sentencing concluded, tension boiled over directly outside the courtroom doors. Witnesses stated that Parsons' brother-in-law and a cousin of Bryant exchanged heated words. The verbal confrontation rapidly escalated into a physical brawl in the courthouse hallway. They said the deputies ended up breaking it up. And then they know that he has 30 days to appeal the official ruling. I want to know do we know what was said? The exact verbal statement that triggered the physical altercation has not been made public by law enforcement or local officials. Okay. Absolutely crazy, y'all. At the end of the day, you can't be mad at the sentence, or you can't be upset because the victim's family is upset and has to say some words. Your son was a part of their daughter's death or their family member's death. And even if he didn't fire the shot, he was a part of the whole altercation that caused it. So no one's going to be sad that he got 2 life sentences, or at least no one on the victim side is going to be sad, and they might even say some heated words. It's a tragic situation that happened, but if you don't want to get grouped together, then don't be a part of that life at the end of the day. But let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Absolutely crazy, y'all. We're going to pivot now into our next topic that we're going to be discussing today. And we're going over to New Jersey, we're going to New Jersey where a man gets a life sentence because he ended up killing his brother, his brother's wife, and their 2 children. Killing your family. That's even extra level of cold. Let's go over into it, see what we can find out. Remember, y'all, the best way to show your support is always just to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. Let's jump into it.
The New Jersey man convicted of killing his brother, sister-in-law, and their 2 children will spend the rest of his life behind bars. We want to warn you that the details of the deaths are very disturbing. Christine Sloan was inside court when Paul Canero learned his sentence. She joins us now live in Monmouth County with what was an emotional day for the victim's family. Christine.
It certainly was, Cindy. Now, the judge gave Paul Canero the maximum 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole for the murders of his brother, his brother's wife, and the couple's 2 children. But before that, Jennifer Canero's mother and sister spoke directly to him, saying that he wiped out an entire family from the face of this earth.
He stole the source of joy and happiness in our lives and replaced it with bottomless sadness, sorrow, and grief.
For a crime rooted in greed and complete disregard for human life, there must be accountability, maximum accountability. Value of their lives.
After they spoke, the judge directly addressing the 59-year-old who will now spend the rest of his life behind bars. Canero, shackled in a yellow prison jumpsuit, stood emotionless the entire time, saying he had nothing to say, only that was all he said. It took an hour, the judge reminding him of the crimes back in November of 2018 he's convicted of, calling them brutal and calculating, shooting and killing his brother Keith, the final shot to the head on the lawn of his home, then shooting Keith's wife Jennifer in the head inside their home and stabbing her while she was still alive. The judge then saying he slaughtered the couple's 11 and 8-year-old children, stabbing Jesse 7 times, Sophia 40 times, and then he set the home on fire to make it look like they were targeted. The prosecutor speaking to the media outside, the couple's family by their side.
What did you do? I would like to know the reasoning. What was the motive? You stabbed the children multiple times? Stabbed? Yeah, you the coldest, evil bastard in the world. You deserve what you got. You can never be around people or be a free man for the rest of your life. That is just a cold expression, no sadness. But it's crazy to think that this took from 2018. It's 2026. Why does stuff take so long? Jeez, let's keep going.
As everyone knows, the jury made findings in this case, and based on those findings, the sentence in this case is mandatory. It's life without parole. And Mr. Canero is well aware of that. He's prepared to receive his sentence today.
Today's sentence is the only sentence that is consistent with the evidence provided, what the jury found, and what justice requires.
Now, prosecutors say greed drove Canero to the crimes, that he stood to gain a life insurance if everyone was dead. Now, Canero has 45 days to appeal this. His attorney tells me that they will appeal. He maintains his innocence. We're live in Monmouth County, New Jersey. Christine.
Money. One of the oldest reasons for killing somebody. But you kill your brother and his whole family for money? Let's go over into one more video.
It's Judgment Day for the Cain and Abel killer who murdered his brother's wife, and their 2 children.
Paul Canero slaughtered my beautiful family, murdering his own brother, my daughter, my grandchildren.
59-year-old Paul Canero sat stone-faced.
He disgusts us.
Then the slain woman's sister spoke.
The Satan in this room stole decades of laughter, holidays, graduations, and weddings.
The prosecutor also had her say.
The defendant's conduct was nothing short of a massacre.
Canero was found guilty of shooting his brother Keith after Paul was caught stealing from the family businesses. Then he stabbed his brother's wife, Jennifer, and their 2 young children, Sophia and Jesse. Canero also set his brother's $2 million New Jersey home ablaze. To cover up his crime, prosecutors say Canero also torched his own home to make it look like both brothers had been targeted. The judge slammed Paul Canero, calling him a cold-blooded killer and giving a grim recounting of what happened that awful night. It was so shocking there were gasps heard in the courtroom.
Oh, Jesus.
Once again, zero reaction from Canero.
Is there anything that you want me to say before I impose sentence? Sure.
This is the moment of sentencing.
Life with no possibility of parole. You are no longer Paul Canero. You are a number in the Department of Corrections.
I spoke to Betty Caritas, the slain wife's mother, outside court.
Justice was served. I'm so grateful for that.
Was it tough being in the courtroom and just hearing?
Horrible from beginning to end. From beginning to end.
I can't imagine being in that courtroom hearing that. This man was caught stealing money from the family business. And then he decided to, you know what, let me just kill everybody so I can get that insurance money. Wow. Let's go over into the AI breakdown just to find out a little bit more information about this whole case. So as we know, on May 19th, the 59-year-old Paul was sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole for the brutal 2018 slaughter of his brother's entire family. The court judge gave him the maximum penalty, calling the slaying a cold, deliberate malice and a completely annihilation of a family. So the murder took place in November of 2018 at the mansion in rural Colts Neck, New Jersey. Paul executed his brother, Keith, 50 years old, outside of the home. He went inside the home to shoot and stab his sister-in-law, Jennifer, 45, and then brutally stabbed his nephews, Jesse, and his niece, Sophia, 8 and 11. After committing the murder, he set a fire to his brother's home. Hours later, he set a fire to his own home in an attempt to destroy evidence. Prosecutors revealed that the massacre was fueled by financial strain, greed, and deteriorating business partnership. Hours before his death, Keith discovered that Paul had siphoned tens of thousands of dollars from the trust account to fund his lavish lifestyle. Paul also stood to cash in on a multi-million-dollar life insurance policy. Following years of delay due to the pandemic and legal representation changes, a 19-day trial concluded in February 2026. Jurors took just a few hours to find him guilty on all 15 counts, including murder, aggravated arson, and theft. Along with the 4 consecutive life sentences, the judge added 16 concurrent years for the theft of over $75,000 and 2 arson counts. They said that the family called him a monster, and the Satan in this room. He continues to maintain his innocence and has 45 days to file an appeal. Innocence? I mean, I guess anybody can maintain their innocence, but you have to be a monster to do this to your own family. Wow. Over money. At the end of the day, it was all over money. Absolutely tragic, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that situation. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Absolutely tragic. We're going to pivot to a next thing we're going to be talking about today, the last thing for today. And we're going to go over some court archives. If you don't know what that is, it's just basically Zoom meetings or court meetings that we get to watch as they discuss stuff. And this one is about a mother is caught blocking her son's calls again. Let's get over into it and see what this whole situation is about. Remember, y'all, the best way to show your support is always just to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. Let's jump into it.
This is the matter of Sway Amprakash against Kemeth, case number 23-08759-DM. Both parties are present along with their respective attorneys. We are here on the defendant's motion, on the defendant's motion in order to show cause against the plaintiff for contempt. Mr. Young.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm not sure if you would like just a brief opening summation of what has brought us here this morning, but
it's your time. I mean, I've got the briefs, so
okay.
It's really up to you how you want to proceed.
Thank you. I would just indicate that I would rely upon the...
Never mind. You see how much is lagging? We're not going to go over this video. We'll find something else real quickly. Let's jump over into it. Hold on. Finish up the day. Ooh, this one right here. Okay, we're going to go over to this next topic where we're looking at a TikTok star is accused of murder for hire plot to kill the father of her child. Let's get over into it and see what we can find out, y'all. See what we can find out.
LA prosecutors accusing a TikTok star of trying to hire somebody off the dark web to kill her ex while they're in the middle of a bad custody battle. She's now facing attempted murder charges. Gabriela Gonzalez, you see here, she's 24, 500,000 followers online. Prosecutors say her dad and her then boyfriend were also involved in what they say is a murder for hire plot. Apparently it all fell apart because they ended up talking to an undercover cop who was posing as a hitman. So not a hitman, a law enforcement officer. Gonzalez is now on out on a $2 million bail. We've reached out to her attorney for comment, but we haven't heard back. Chloe Melas is following.
Stupid people win stupid prizes. And we know that's true. Let's keep going.
Following this story for us. There are some real twists and turns in this one, Chloe. Walk us through it. Hallie, this is truly like something made for a TV movie. I want to show you guys who is who so that you can kind of understand, because it gets a little complicated as you're trying to dive in here. So you have Gabriela Gonzalez, who, like you said, is this TikTok influencer. You have her father, Francisco Gonzalez, and then you have Kai Cordry, who was Gabriela's then boyfriend. The alleged target, Jack Avery, who you might know, he's a popular pop star. And so Gabriela has a 7-year-old child with her ex, Jack Avery. And she has been in this contentious custody battle with him for years. Enter her father, who allegedly cooked up this scheme with her to hire a hitman for $10,000 that allegedly that money was paid on the dark web to kill him. I want to reference something from the complaint. Kai Cordry, using the alias Lizard King 69, instructed the dark web murder for hire site and/or its participants that Jack Avery should be killed by whatever method was easiest, including a shooting or staged incident. And it appears that Kai Cordry was hired by Gabriela's father. So again, both of these two were arrested on May 18th. Gabriela out on that $2 million bail. But what I will say is that there is a lot of evidence that these prosecutors have gathered together: text messages, Hallie, stuff on Signal, correspondence on the dark web. So it's going to be an uphill battle for these two. Jack Avery is alive and well. He had commented on a podcast not that long ago that law enforcement had told him that his life was potentially in jeopardy, that someone was trying to kill him. At the time, he didn't realize that it was his ex and former father-in-law potentially here, right? Innocent until proven guilty. But it looks like this is full steam ahead to trial, Hallie. And this is a story that's really captivating TikTok and social media because Gabriela, she has a very large following. Chloe Malas,
how the father of the TikTok star came up with the whole plan. Some people do not deserve to be parents, or some people shouldn't be parents. Let's get over into the AI breakdown just to find out a little bit more information about this whole case. Wow. And then they ended up trying to hire hitmen and they get an undercover cop. You deserve what's going to happen to you, y'all. Let's get into this. So as we know, the TikTok influencer, Gabrielle, and her father, Francisco, and her ex-boyfriend, Kai, have been arrested and charged in an alleged dark web murder for hire plot. The primary target was Jake Avery, a former member of the boy band Why Don't We? I've never heard of that boy band, with whom Gabrielle shares a 7-year-old daughter. So the plot reportedly originated between 2020 and 2021 during a highly contentious child custody battle. So Gabrielle allegedly asked her boyfriend at the time, Kai, to find a hitman on the dark web. Her father, Francisco, a civil trial lawyer from Central Florida, allegedly wired Cordell a total of $14,000 disguised as web development payments to hire and pay the assassin. In September of 2021, he unknowingly negotiated details of the hit, including the timeline, payment, and proof of death, with an undercover law enforcement officer posing as a hitman. Following a multi-year investigation initiated by the FBI, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office announced charges on Tuesday, May 19th, 2026. So Gabrielle, 24, arrested in Humboldt County, Northern California, as she prepared to board a flight. She appeared in Los Angeles court where her bail was set at $2 million. Francisco, arrested in Central Florida, California, and is currently awaiting extradition. Witness reports state that he previously remarked that it would be cheaper if Jack was dead. And then we know Kai, he was charged, or we don't know, what Kai was charged alongside the father and daughter duo. Each individual faces 3 criminal charges: conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, and then solicitation of murder. If convicted on all charges, They face 25 years to life in state prison. According to TMZ, Jack Avery filed for an emergency temporary restraining order and full custody of their daughter following the news. The child, who was temporarily placed in a foster care directly after Gabrielle's arrest, has since been picked up by Avery. A judge has also issued a protective order barring Gabrielle from contacting Avery or their daughter. All this because of custody battle? Was he that bad that you wanted to kill him? And now you're going to be most likely, you might be out of your daughter's life for the rest of her life. Was it worth it trying to do this? It's a crazy scene, y'all, but let me know your thoughts on that situation. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Absolutely crazy, y'all. You got to be careful on who you decide to lay in the bed with, who you have children with, who you let in your life, because they could plan to kill you later on, which is something crazy to say. He never would have expected, when the cops came and told him that someone was after his life, he never guessed that it was the mother of his child. But there's a lot of things that hide in the dark. Like I said, y'all, let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. But that is it for the show today. We talked about a lot of crazy things. If you ever disagree with anything I say, please leave a comment. Let's have a discussion about it. I'm never going to say I'm always right. I'm never going to say I understand everything, but I'm willing to listen. Let's have a conversation. Now, the best way to show your support, I've said it before, is to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos. But these videos will be broken down so you can go back and watch the one you want, but you already know I got to play that outro.